Hey guys, it's Simon from redlinemotorsport.co.uk. Sorry about that little technical error there. I don't know why the game wasn't broadcasted then. Hey guys, it's Simon. Anyway, we are now live. So yeah, today we have the Ferrari 488 event at Barcelona. So we literally have a full grid of Ferraris. So it'd be myself, Simon, commentating, and Jake as well. So hello, Jake.
Hi there. Hello, viewers. Welcome.
How you doing? So at the moment we've got 2 minutes left of practice. Would be 30 minutes qualify, and then it's a 60-minute race. At the moment we've got 23 drivers in so far. Should get a few more in by the by about qualifying. We've got a few guys running a bit late. But at the moment, like I said, we've got a full grid of Ferraris. We are running the latest beta version 1.0.7, which has the new tyre model, so 5 points of contact per tyre. So basically this would make it a lot more easier to be able to drive over curbs without losing grip and spinning out. So this is literally the first stream to obviously stream this. We'll see how that pans out. So at the moment, track is fast at the moment, so it should turn to optimal for qualifying. We've got a times progression of times 10. So the race will start 2 PM in game and then finish about midnight. So we should have a nice little transition from day to night. So at the moment, even with a fast track right now, we've got guys breaking 1:44 here at Barcelona, which is some epic times. So yeah, we'll see how the times improve when the actual track turns to optimal. So at the moment, it's quite overcast at the moment in Barcelona. Track temps are 33 degrees. So that's Louis there. No one else. So I'll jump around and see. So we've got a few guys wearing custom skins as well. So yes, just make it a bit of a variety of different cars on track. So yeah, guys, if you're obviously new to the stream, then obviously don't forget to follow us and like and subscribe on YouTube. There is an audio echo. Why is there an audio echo? I don't understand that. Just tell me if that's still going then, Jake. I don't know why it's echoing through. Seems to be like OBS and Twitch playing up with myself tonight. I don't know why. But yeah, just let us know how that is, Jake, if you're still there. See if it does still cause the echo. I might have to try to restart the stream if it's still going. Yeah, Jake, just speak a bit as well, see if it's still okay.
Yep, I'm here. I noticed even a few of the drivers have actually got their headlights on already.
Yeah, quite surprising how
It's be interesting to see if it's going to be transitioning tonight, how that affects the drivers.
That's it, yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
It's be interesting to see if it's going to be transitioning tonight
throughout the transition as well for the race. So we've got a couple more guys in now. So just over 3.5 minutes until we get until qualifying starts. So unless all the guys jump back to pits now, then it should transition straight over to qualifying. So see how well they can get the times down. If they can, there we go. So yeah, straight on to qualifying now. So yeah, start qualifying. 30 minutes of qualifying. So we just jump around and see who's going to be one of the first out. So yeah, start qualifying. 30 minutes of qualifying. So if we look at the times a minute ago from practice, so there's quite a few guys hitting the 1:44s there, all the way up to sort of P10. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how good a race it's going to be with everyone so close together.
Yeah, there's some impressive lap times, especially with the track. It's not at its optimum yet, was it?
No, exactly. So saying that, the track's still saying it's fast.
Especially the track.
I don't know if that's an issue with the latest beta version or not, because it should be optimal by now. especially after an hour's practice. It should have been rubbered in because we've got, 20 plus cars racing around the grid to rubber it in. So we'll see.
At least they'll be used to the grip levels.
Well, that's it, yeah. And obviously with the new tyre models, they should be better for them anyway. But a few people have said, actually, with the new tyre models, on cold tyres, it actually feels more slippery. So that's an interesting fact.
Yeah, that'll be something to slowly get used to, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. So looks like we've got 24 drivers in at the moment. We might get another couple in a bit later on. I said a couple of guys are running late. So far, not a bad grid size actually for everyone wanting to compete with the same car.
It's nice to see a lot have gone to the effort with the custom liveries. There's some interesting car colours in there.
There sure are, yeah. So, yeah, as I said, we've got some pretty fast guys in here. So James Parker, he's one of our favourites. He is just as fast as Chris Hokie, because they've been racing together quite a lot, practicing together. So we're pretty good. We've got Samir, who's P5 at the moment, but I said everyone's out on a warm-up lap. Samir is one of our esports drivers. He was part of the SRO esports at Spa 24 Hour. He was down there competing against a few guys in the Silver Cup. So didn't do too badly. A mistake at the start, but he managed to come away with P7 from that. So pretty impressive for his first time in esports. Just looking at some other guys to see who we've got here. So as I said, we've got some pretty fast guys in here. Quite a lot of them. So
yeah, there's a few new names as well.
That's it. So yeah, it should be a pretty interesting race right across the grid here. Alberto at the moment is in P22. Well. Again, this guy, I mean, he is seriously quick as well, especially in the Bentley. So it'd be interesting to see how fast he is in the Ferrari. Echo is still there. Is it really bad, Jake? Oh, just right there. Echo is still there. Is it really bad, Jake? Just let me know if that's better or not. I don't understand why we've got an echo because I've not changed any settings. So yeah, I do apologise about this at the moment. Don't know why.
Streamed in surround sound?
No, I always leave the stream in stereo. There's no point running surround on it. It's not bad but irritating. Yeah, I can imagine. Let me just see if it's actually Discord.
Currently we have Samir setting the pace with a 1:44.0. Going to be pushing 43s before long.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, the track's still running fast at the moment. I'm surprised it's not optimal. But still, we've got quite a few guys in the 144s at the moment. So, yeah, it should be pretty good to see where they all start to come as we get a bit further into qualifying. Just let us know if it's getting better or not, Jake, please. I don't know what is going on today. Still the same. Is that any better? So yeah, I do apologise about this, guys. While we try and figure out what is going on. It never rains but pours, does it? So So just have a quick look, see what we're doing for times at the moment.
Well, Samir still seems to be hanging on to the top spot. Salvador second, only 2 tenths off.
Right, okay.
And a half tenth back to Alberto.
Yeah, what I'll quickly do, guys, I'll quickly just restart the stream. Just to make sure it isn't just literally a case, it's just some error going on with OBS. So we'll be back very quickly. So we should be back now, guys. So hopefully that's improved the sound quality. Please let us know if that has made a difference. Yeah, so Salvato's done pretty well at the moment. He's just under 2 tenths off of Samir at the moment. Not too bad at the moment. Nico Lettis, he's managed a 145.8 at the moment. So it's going to be interesting. Quite a few guys bunched up whether they're going to make. It's going to work for them, whether they're going to make a toe, get the toe down the straight, or whether it's going to cause them slow downs later on. So a few more guys getting their times in now. So a good 5 seconds, almost 5 seconds between the top P1 with Samir holding P1 at the moment. Alberto's now managed to grab P3 with 500s of a second off of Mato in P2. So on board with Samuel Ratz at the moment. So yeah, guys, just let us know if it is still echoing. I mean, I did quickly restart the stream. I don't know if it's just OBS is playing up. I'm hoping that's fixed any sort of weird echoing going on. So is there much going on your screen at the moment, Jake?
No, just keeping an eye on. No one so far been able to best Samir. We've got a few drivers getting close to the top 4 drivers, only covered by 3 tenths of a second.
That's it. So
it's very tight for the.
Right, your Discord is going really funny. You sound like a robot.
Very tight.
Oh dear, I don't know what's going on tonight, guys, with OBS. I don't know why it's echoing. Yeah, just let us know if that's making it any better. I am trying a few different settings and the sound properly to see if that's making any difference, but So anyway, we'll jump on board with Eric Egman for a minute. He's around P9 at the moment with 1:45.4 his best time. Track's still showing as fast. It's a surprise. I mean, hopefully for a race it does actually turn into the optimal track. But we'll just double check to see how we're doing for time at the moment. So James Parker's actually managed to break a 1:44. He's managed a 1:43.8 now, taking P1. Samir's P2 with 1:44. Amato is just a couple tenths behind Samir with 1:44.2. So nice to see quite a few guys now breaking the 1:44s. But yeah, James Parker seems to be doing pretty well here with a 1:43.8. So some very quick times for Barcelona. So I'll definitely say that the new beta 1.0.7 is definitely helping here. So just saying that, it looks like Samuel Ratz has now managed to grab P3, so pushing Amato back down to P4. Chris Hokey's P5, Alberto's P6 at the moment.
Yes, a sizable increase improvement there by James. Nearly took a whole second off his previous time.
Right, so there's no echo when we're quiet. Just let me know if that is okay there. Just make sure we've got rid of this echo now. Jake, you're obviously not running the stream in the background as well, are you, to perform any sort of echo, are you?
No.
So you've got the volume off, yeah, just make sure. So anyway, hopefully that's fixed the issue. So we can get on concentrating with the stream. So Ivan is managed P9 at the moment at 1:45.2. So it's just going to show how fast these guys are at the front runners there. You know, nearly 1.5 seconds faster, and yet 1:45 is not a shabby time at all for Barcelona. So like I said, you know, these guys have been practicing really hard, you know, to obviously perfect their lines and get these incredible lap times. So for the sake of Louis, I mean, he's very new to ACC today. He's just literally joined the game, but generally he's a pretty fast sim racer. But yeah, you can see here, I mean, he's only getting a 1:45.3 at the moment. But hopefully, I mean, as he gets a bit more used to the game, he might improve his time. But generally, his consistency should be pretty spot on for the race. So as I say, it's a 60-minute race. So I just will say as well, with 1.0.7, there is no mandatory pits, because apparently it doesn't work at the moment. So obviously we've sort of benefited by taking 1.07 due to the new tyre model, over the sake of having a pit stop. So hopefully 1.08 should bring us back the mandatory pits. So should be quite nice. Yuri's P11 at the moment, so 1:45.7. So he's doing pretty well at the moment. No one else really improving their times. James still holding the lead with a 1:43.8. Samir still 2 tenths down from that. Samuel's 1 tenth behind Samir. Amato is 1 tenth, or just under 1 tenth, off of Samuel. I mean, I'll bring the board up quickly so you guys can see here, but you know, you've got quite a few guys 1:44.2s, you know, 1:44.1s, 1:44.7s, you know, so they're really close, really bunched up together there at the moment. So we should be in for a really good battle. So we have got a full formation lap for the race. So yeah, so they literally go around single file, give themselves about 50 meters distance between each other. As they sort of weave, get the tyres warmed up, get their brakes warmed up, and then just before they come around to the second to last corner, they will get back in a double file, and then the leader will take them around to the start finish line, where then they'll be off for the race. jump over to Kyle White. He's managed a 1:45.5. So again, these times are not shabby at all. They're pretty quick times here. But obviously you can see the guys that have been practicing hard and getting these extra attempts where they can out of some of these turns. Just dropping a ball for Tiago. He's another guy that's quite new to us. Tiago, he's 1:46.1. So, like I said, these times. Sorry.
Yeah, it's great to see that top 15 drivers, 2 seconds.
I know, it's like I said, it should be a pretty good race right across the grid, as long as you don't have any pile-ups through T1. So fingers crossed for that. Hopefully the full formation lap will prevent that. So jump on board with Harry. Harry's managed 1:46.4. So like I said, we should have some pretty good racing. So we've got quite a few guys in the 1:46s and 1:47s, because we've got a mixture of guys that are pros and and pros. Silver class, so we've got all sorts of mix in here. Looks like one of the guys has been disqualified by the looks of it from the qualifying, so he'll be starting at the back of the pack. So he's obviously ended up speeding through the pits. But yeah, generally looking at the times, we should have quite a few guys sort of battling, like I said, right across the grid. So
we currently have a new leader.
We do, yeah, I just noticed that. So so Amato's now managed a 1:43.7, so that's literally 1/10, just over 1/10 faster than James Parker. So we're really starting to see some awesome times getting landed here. Like I said, but even still, the track is still fast and not fully optimal at the moment. So yeah, some pretty awesome times going on. So we jump over to another Yuri. So this is Yuri Evers. He's managing a 1:48.4, running P19 at the moment. So not doing too bad. So he should be having a good race with a few of the guys near the back of the pack. As he decides to cut the track. What he's doing there. So anyway, Ray Taylor, he's managed a 1:48.5. So again, not far off of Yuri. So again, I imagine these guys are going to be pretty close together. Jumping on board with Ben for a minute. He's 1:48.7. So again, 1/10 off of Ray. So we've still got 11 minutes to go, so we might get some. So here we go. I just noticed now the track's just turned optimal now. So with the last sort of just under 11 minutes to go, we hopefully should see some quicker lap times. So this is where it should be quite exciting to see who's going to get the podiums and start the race off. So jump on board with Colin for a minute, 1:48.8. So as I say, now the track's optimal. These guys should be shaving a few more tenths off their times. So nice to see it's all rubbered in now. So I believe Amato is actually on a hot lap, so I might just jump on board with him for a bit, just so we can see how he does. Give you guys a bit of
There was a small improvement by P2 driver James Parker, but only small. It's brought him a little bit closer to P1. He's still pushing hard. Let's see what he comes up with over the next lap.
Awesome. So yeah, it looks like the echo's been fixed. Yay! Oh, I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, at least we've managed to fix it. So yeah, Frosty, I'm not surprised you got disqualified then, because I saw you cut the last corner. So were you speeding through the pits? But anyway, yeah, it's just really being DQ for qualified just means you start at the back of the pack anyway, guys. So fine there.
Easily done by the best of us.
That's it, yeah. So still on board with Amato at the moment as he starts to finish line, see if he improves his play. He's only just slightly off his best. Just under 2/10 off his fastest lap there. So it's pretty good switch there to watch. So James Parker is now managed to grab P2. He was already P2, wasn't he? Actually, I thought Samir was P2 for no reason, but no, it's alright. James Parker is still P2. So we're just down board with him, see if he makes an improvement now the track's turned optimal, because these times are so close together. literally just under, or just about 1/10 between these two guys. With Samir literally just under 2/10 P2.
I'm currently watching Samir as he's now about to finish a lap to see if he gets an improvement.
Oh, there we are. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening there, Frosty Bird, but yeah. So, it looks like James is trying to get his tyres warmed up.
We have a new leader currently.
Yeah, we just got a new leader there. So Samuel Ratz has just managed a 1:43.5. So this is what I mean. These guys now. I mean, it could be anywhere between these guys here and the top sort of 7. Yeah, the times they're getting now as the track's turned optimal. You know, we might start to see lower 1:43s, maybe even break a 1:42. So it should be very interesting for the next 7 minutes. So let's see if James Parker manages to get a better time. So James Parker has just managed a 1:45.4, so looks slower than his best at the moment. That's an awesome time so far. So hopefully he's on a hot one now. So we'll stay with James Parker for a bit longer to see if he does improve on this lap. Now that he's had a pretty good exit out of the last corner. So hopefully the traffic in front doesn't slow him down too much. Hopefully he can use it to his advantage and grab a toe off him at some point. So it'll be interesting to see. So it looks like it's TA goes in front.
Just been watching Samir and he's just done a good lap and improvement to a 43.7, which has pushed him up to 3rd position.
That's awesome. So yeah,
he's just nipped James by a 10th.
Awesome. So yeah, so James has managed to get a nice clear run there with the with Tiago allowing to pass. So looks like James might be on a bit of a flying lap here. So if we can keep his cool and keep it going for the last few turns. Lost a bit of the back end there, so it might have cost him a bit of time, but straight back on the power, got quick out of the last corner, so we'll see if he makes an improvement. So yes, he's managed a 1:43.7, so that's put him back up to P2, but he's still just over 1/10 slower than Samuel in P1, so he could be getting a better time at some point. We'll just jump on board with Samir, as Samir looks like he's on the hot lap. So hopefully the traffic here doesn't slow him down. Hopefully he can get a bit of a toe out of the last corner and onto the main straight, which might hopefully improve his time. But it looks like these guys are going to slow him down. It's going to cost him a lot of time by the looks of it. So it's a bit of a shame. So Samir's just decided to say no. Unfortunately, I can't take that. So it is a bit of a shame. So
I've just seen Alberto improved to P5.
He has, yeah. I just jumped on board with Alberto. Yeah, so he's doing pretty well here. So again, he's another guy to watch. I mean, these guys, most of the front runners, I mean, yes, they're very quick with their qualifying times, but they're also consistent as well throughout the race. So you definitely see this with James Parker, Chris Hooke, who's currently P6 at the moment. So yeah, so you will definitely see some awesome racing to come. So it's nice to see everyone all in the same class car. You know, I thought it'd just make it a bit different. You know, and it just shows off you know, people's talents then to show them, you know, real performance, how fast they can be, rather than having a whole array of different cars.
Looks like James's lap paid off in the end. He's got himself P.
Oh, have you cut off there? So yeah, James did get a better lap time. He is of P2 with 1:43.7. I did mention that a minute ago. So it looks like, are you back with us, Jake?
Yep. Does that sound okay now?
Yeah, you sort of cut off for a second, so I had to finish what you were saying. So On board with Eric Igman for a minute to 1:45.1. So he's improving his times as well. P9. But I mean, again, you know, looking at the board, everyone is very, very close together, really nicely bunched up. So, like I said, we should be in for a pretty awesome race here. So, at the moment, we've got 25 cars on the grid. 2 of them have been disqualified at the moment during the qualifying, so they'll be starting at the back of the pack. So I just do want to keep on the eye on the front runners at the moment to see if any improvements go on. So it looks like James Parker's in the pits, so I think he's called it quits at the moment. Just jump on board with Assetto, see what he's doing as he's coming up through the last sector.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see if Amato or Samir can pip James for second, because there's nothing in their current times.
That's it. So
half a tenth or so.
Yeah, Amato's just managed to grab P1 there with a 1:43.3. So that's 2 tenths faster than Samuel, who's taken P2. So that was awesome to see near the
That's
end
an
of the
astonishing
qualifying.
time.
So absolutely brilliant there. So Amato's gone back out again, but I don't think he's going to get another lap in now with only 1:40 to go. So yeah, we're in for a
saved his best for last there.
That's it. I mean, but again, you know, some other guys could be on a real hot lap in a minute, so we will just keep an eye on the boards just to see what's if anything changes. But it's nice to see a few amateurs up, you know, P5, P6. Although I wouldn't really class them as amateurs, they're definitely pro drivers. So don't be fooled by the oh, it says national there. So
no, they're all good drivers.
Yeah, most of them are pretty pro drivers. Yeah. So we'll see if Alberto manages to improve. So if we stay with him for a second. So we should be just coming across the line.
Samir's giving it one more shot. His last attempt now.
Yeah, he did improve on his last lap, but not his best lap, unfortunately. So
Fernando has improved up to P6. He pushed Chris down to 7th.
Yeah, Chris is down to P7 now. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, Chris normally he's quite dominant with some of the races in the championships. So, I mean, it's very interesting to see him running P7 at the moment. I mean, like I said, these guys are all very, very quick guys. So to see them actually getting the times there. So we'll give you the final board there. So it looks like Amato's managed to grab P1. Samuel's grabbed P2, James Parker P3, Samir P4, Alberto P5, Fernando's got P7, Fernando's P6, Chris P7, Thomas managed P8, Steve Banks P9, Diego P10, Eric P11, Ivan P12, Louis P13. So I'm quite surprised with Louis actually being P13 because I say he's quite a fast guy. So yeah, he's definitely mid-pack. So he's definitely his match here with some of these guys here. We've got Nico in P14, Jerry P15, Kyle in P16, Harry P17, Diego P18, another Fernando's P19, Ben in P20, Ray P21, Colin P22, John P23. I can't see the other guys at the moment. Wouldn't let me scroll down to see the rest of the guys there. But so yeah, so it looks like Memo and Yuri, who got disqualified, are starting at the back of the pack. Here we go, managed to scroll down there. So yeah, hopefully these guys will be starting at the back of the pack. So
Interesting to see what progress they can make in the opening few laps.
this is it, yeah. So I'm going to jump on board with Helicam, since we've got a really good cam for the formation lap. So yeah, so we've got a few minutes until we actually start the formation lap. Welcome to the stream, guys. Don't forget to obviously follow us, like us, and subscribe on YouTube as well, because I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube. If you've got any questions about the stream, commentating, the Redline community, then do speak to me, because I am actually the founder of Redline. So yeah, any questions about what we race and what we do, then please ask away in the chats, and we will keep an eye on that. So if it's all right with you, Jake, can you keep an eye on the YouTube chat, in case any guys are chatting there, and I'll keep an eye on the Twitch chat. So yeah, so basically anyway, we run the races 7 days a week across a selection of sims from Assetto, Corsa, ACC, Race Room. We've got Dirt 2.0 Championship going. So yeah, so we're running 7 days a week. So lots of stuff to do. All sort of UK time. Most of the stuff sort of starts from 7 p.m. UK time. So you get an hour's practice, and then the race normally starts about 8:30. So even if you can't make the practice, you know it's there if you do want to jump in. So anyway, yeah, so just over 30 seconds to go, and then we have the start of the race, 60 minutes. So like I said, there'll be no mandatory pits because unfortunately 1.0.7 doesn't run mandatory pits because it looks like Kuno's broke something along the way, but we'll take the new tyre model over that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I'll bring the standards up quickly while I've got a few seconds left. So I'm going to say it's going to be a pretty good race here, pretty close. Like I said, right across the grid there. So if it's right with you, Jake, if you just sort of keep an eye on the midfield and the back of the pack, I'll keep close to the front and just make sure everyone's taking it easy. So these guys need to spread out a bit, get their tyres warmed up. And then, like I said, once they start to almost complete the lap, second to last corner, so basically there's the chicane. Once they get to the chicane, they should all be bunching back up into double file, and then the leader should, let's say, slow down, allow everyone to bunch up into double file, and then the leader should take them around the last corner, get back up to speed, and then once they get to the start and finish line, it will be go, go, go. Yeah, freaky bot. Freaky bot. The whole time, fastest time was a 1:43.3, I believe, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, 1:43.3.
It's a blistering time.
Yeah, and that was by Amato there. So awesome times there. So the track only literally went optimal about 10 minutes before the end of qualifying. So that's when the guys managed to get their better lap times in. So far so good, nice and clean all the way down the pack. Everyone's sort of spreading out now, so nice to see everyone's taking it easy without too many problems. I say this, but I don't know what's happening here with what is going on here at the back of here with Mohet. He needs to get back in his position, so it looks like he's realised and he's had to pull himself back, but the guys at the front need to sort of slow down. So just wondering, Jake, would you be able to quickly jump into the chat and just tell Amato just to hold off a bit and let people catch up, because there's quite a big gap.
Yep.
If he's actually in there. Yeah, so there's quite a big gap between the rears at the moment. Looks like they're starting to actually close that gap now, actually. So it looks like they're all starting to bunch back up nicely. So they should start to get into double file here now. So Assetto should slow right down and allow them to get into double file. So here we are. That's it. So the leader will be controlling everyone to bunch back up nicely. So I need to make sure everyone's behaving. So it looks like everyone's doing pretty well so far.
Green light. Go, go, go.
And they're off. Looks like James Parker's just managed to pass Assetto there. Samir's managed to grab P2. So it looks like Samir's just managed to grab P1, but they're gone side by side into T1. They're coming to T2. Samir's hold on to P1. So some awesome racing there by Samir already. So nice and clean so far. So a quick change around there quickly at the start of the grid. Unfortunately, the board's not catching up with what's going on, but lucky enough I know the car skins to tell you guys what's going on there. So I will just quickly jump back down the back of the pack to make sure everyone's behaving, which it looks like they are. So
yeah, I think we had to drop a few positions off the start.
Yeah, I think he did.
Got the timing of the start correctly, but he's managed to keep himself going out.
That's it. Well, like I said, it should be a pretty good race here in a minute with these guys. So as the board's starting to catch up now, so Samir's P1, Samuel's P2 at the moment, Fernando's got P3, James Parker's P4, Assetto's down to P5 at the moment, so he lost his pole from the start. Had a bit of a bad start there, so that is very unlucky there for him. But I mean, like I said, we've got 58 minutes and anything can happen in those 58 minutes of the race. Yeah, so yeah, just catching up with the chat, guys. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. It is literally just a full Ferrari event. We have the championships, obviously, where we run all the different cars. A fortnight ago, we ran the Porsche Cup championship event. Then we have the T-Rex event coming up, and then we've got another Porsche Cup event coming up as well. So we're running that in between our bi-weekly championship on a Friday. So yeah, so just to give it a bit of a mix-up, a bit of different series, because in real life you do have the Ferrari 488 Challenge event, a championship going. So I just thought, why not make something of it with ACC at the moment? So there you go. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome race between these guys. So like I said, we look at the times, everyone's pretty close together, and so far, nice clean lap one as they come into...
Had one incident down into turn one, I'm afraid.
Oh, did we? What's happened here? So it looks like there's been a bit of an incident near the back of the pack. Yeah, it looks like
Ben Nielsen.
That's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I can see the accident there with cars 82 and car 72. So that is a bit of a shame. So the field's starting to spread out a little bit, but everyone's sort of within a second of each other, a second or two of each other. So doing pretty good so far. Looks like Assetto's down to P6 now, so he's lost another position. So he will have a bit of work to go, because some of these front runners here, once they get going, you know, they hold on to their pace and their consistency throughout the race, you know, and they will be using every chance of that, or opportunity of that, to make that gap bigger. So Samir very composed here in his Ferrari. So Samuel just on his back, but the good thing about Samir is he doesn't break under pressure. He quite enjoys having a bit of a car attacking him. So it would be a pretty good race between these guys.
Yeah, it looks like they've all settled into their rhythm now.
They sure have. So not much has changed across the grid at the moment. Let's wait for the camera to catch up there, because it looked like Colin's getting pretty close at the moment to making an overtake. So, bit of contact there, so I don't know what was going on. So it looked like Mermit. Mermit's ahead there. I'm just trying to catch up with the drivers, because my broadcasting tools are not catching up fast enough.
Yeah, I think you tried to give him a bit of a squeeze down into turn 1, but they both came out of okay.
That's it. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to see who was who there, but unfortunately, the camera's not catching up with, or the standard's not catching up with the relatives right now. So making it a bit hard. So it looks like Samuel's managed to grab P1 there quickly off of Samir. So unfortunately, while we were just trying to catch up with what's going on, we missed that overtake. So at the moment, Samuel is P1. So I think this is where Samir might be running with tactics now, where he won't be overdriving the car as much, but he would just make him well known that he will be in his rear, his rear mirrors. Fernando still. Sorry.
Just a little bit of a battle for P12. Harry is trying to hold off Louis. Louis had an attempt down to the hairpin, but it wasn't successful this time round.
That's it. So they come down through the chicane here. So it looks like Harry's still got P. So just jump back to the leader set because Samir's holding back a bit now, but it looks like Fernando's is closing the gap on Samir. So I'm just wondering whether Samir's just using tactics here to save tyres and stuff like that, in the hope that Samuel might burn his tyres out a bit later on.
Yeah, you have to be cautious of that in the early few laps, the heavy fuel load.
This is it, and obviously I've not actually done any racing with 1.0.7 yet to know how the tyres are affected here with tyre wear and stuff. So
I don't think any of them really have they?
No, exactly. So it's going to be very interesting with these guys. Yeah. So just on board with Steve Banks at the moment as these guys are having a bit of a battle. A little bit of contact there between Amado and Steve Banks. So I don't know what's going on with my relative board. Excuse me, that is wrong, but I don't know what is going on with my relative board here at the moment because it's giving me the wrong names to who was having a bit of a battle there.
Yeah, Lewis just took P9.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it would be quite good to see that. So yeah, we'll root for Samir because he's German. So if he does manage to win in the Ferrari, that would be pretty awesome. So there is a bit of a battle going on with Tiago and Harry at the moment. So as they come down through the chicane, looks like Tiago's trying everything he can to find a gap around Harry, but doesn't look like he's got a good toe off him. So this is where obviously setup is very crucial here. So they might be running a slightly lower wing. Well, Harry's running a slightly lower wing there, where Tiago's not managing to gain any advantage on a toe. So not much is changing at the front at the moment. Samuel's still leading. Samir's nice and comfy in P2. Fernando's P3. So these guys are having a really good battle. James Parker at P4 there. Amato is now back up to P5. So he's managed to gain another position. And just in the background there was Chris in the yellow Ferrari. Louis doing pretty well. Let's say here he's P9 at the moment. So a nice, interesting race so far. So like I said, there's some good battles going on right across the grid at the moment. So everyone's quite bunched up in their groups.
Yeah, looks like there's going to be a good battle brewing up for P7.
Yeah, I just
saw 4 drivers fairly close there.
Yeah. So it looked like something's happened here with Harry, because Harry's now dropped back and Tiago is somehow managed to grab 2 positions, overtaking Harry and Yuri. There's another Tiago here at the moment, having a bit of battle with Alberto from behind. So Alberto is P8 at the moment. So again, Alberto is another fast guy. So yeah, so as I say, we've got quite a lot of fast guys in here. So it could be anyone's race come near the later on in the race, especially as we start to go into night. So it is at 10 times progression. So it will go right up to about midnight with the race, maybe a little bit later because we had the formation lap. So it could start to change where people will start making more mistakes at night. So just jumping on board with Alberto here, trying to make a move on Tiago. As he comes in on the inside, as he gets the inside line. But if he can keep it, looks like he's holding to, yeah, so he's managed to make the pass. So a nice clean overtake there as they go too wide. So awesome racing there. So Chris is still P6 at the moment. So it's about just over a second gap between Samir and Samuel, and again about just over a second between Samir and Fernando's. James Parker is a little bit more behind. So he's about well, he's actually managed to catch up just there, and just managed to get about a second between him and Fernando's. So it's going to be a pretty good battle between these guys, with Assetto not far behind. So he's about 3 seconds behind, but we know that Amato's got the pace. So if he can get the times he got in the qualifying, or close to, then he's definitely going to make up the pace there. So at the moment at 1:44.8, so we know we can definitely go a good 1.3 seconds or so faster. We're actually up to 1.5 seconds faster from what we can do. It'd be interesting to see how they're going. But fastest lap of the race so far is Samuel. We're 1:44.3. So
got a bit of action going on in P11.
Yeah, I'll just
Yuri's
jump over
trying his best to get past. There was a little bit of contact through the chicane, but they both came out okay.
That's it.
See if he's got the momentum to take it into T1.
This is it, yeah. So
Things better of it this time round, I think.
That's it. So it's best to tuck in behind there as they go through Elf, because it is a bit of a tricky corner, that one.
Now we can see all four drivers hopefully bunch up here and have a bit of a battle.
That's it, yeah. Pretty awesome there. So I'm going to jump over to Tiago for P8 at the moment, because these guys are pretty close, with Louis closing the gap there on Tiago. So we have got two Tiagos and we've got two Fernandos in this race, so it can get a bit confusing. So I will just jump back to Yuri.
Oh, we've just had contact between Yuri and Tiago.
Oh, that is a bit of a shame there. So it looks like Tiago's lost quite a few positions from that. So that is a bit of a shame. Was that like a bit of a dirty move, or there was just literally just...
There's a bit of side contact.
Oh, it looks like Yuri's just...
Yuri had a bit of a spin up.
Yeah, he did. He just went a bit too hard into that corner there. Lost the back end.
Maybe karma.
That's it, we managed to get back in there. So it looks like James Parker's now closing the gap here on Fernando's for P3. So he's going to start putting the pressure on. So we know that James has got the pace and he's got the consistency here. So this could be a pretty good battle about to come up. Just going to jump back to Louis, because these guys are getting pretty close there. We're coming down through the chicane. So it's getting very exciting at the moment. With lots going on at the moment. So just back to Yuri, because Yuri's...
mid-pack, we've just had a spinner coming up to the chicane.
Oh, nice.
They've all managed to navigate nicely.
That's a pretty good driver there. So it looks like the Ferrari did manage to pull back off the track as well to prevent any accidents. So that's a pretty awesome driver there. Some good last-minute changes in the braking zone.
Yeah, heart-in-mouth moment for the other drivers.
Absolutely. So again, Louis managed to grab P8 now. So he's taken the position off of Tiago. So... some awesome racing going on. So it looks like Tiago's behind Louis in the green one, and you've got Ivan in the red Ferrari, who's trying to take the inside line there on Tiago. So nice and clean so far with these guys. I'll just jump back to Fernando. So it looks like
he may have a pass.
James Parker's coming
P2.
in, but he's on the outside, so he's not going to get the pass here. Definitely not in this corner, but he's a bit quicker in the exit there. Is he going to try it? The thing is, though, he doesn't want to take it be too dangerous there, because he could end up messing up his race. So he needs to...
I think he thought better of that.
This is it,
at the last minute, yeah. It's a long race to go. There's plenty of opportunity to get past.
Exactly, that's it. Back with Tiago and that, because these guys are still in a bit of a battle here. It's just closed off. I will just jump back to Fernando's quickly, because James Parker looks like he's going to get the toe down the main straight. So is he going to make the move? Is he going to take the inside? He's going to take the inside line.
Brakes.
He sure does, and he manages to... He gets the
It's left
position,
room
but
on the
it's,
outside.
yeah, it's going to slip through. That's it. Yeah, so it's going to go side through side, but it looks like James has managed to take P3. So awesome racing there between these guys. Absolutely nice and clean as they went through T1, T2 there. So pretty awesome to see. So awesome move by James to grab P3. So that's going to give him plenty of time now to try and catch up with Samir. Because if you look at the times relatives now, Samir is almost 5 seconds in front of P3 with James. So it looks like James has got a lot of catching up to do to try and catch up with Samir. And jumping on with Samuel, who's in P1 at the moment. He's holding about 1.5 seconds gap with him and Samir at the moment. But as I say, I think Samir is playing a bit of a tactical plan here by just holding back a bit, not to run his tyres down and hopefully take P1 a bit later on. And hopefully in that time, James might be able to improve as well and hopefully close that gap. So especially as we get later on through the race and they start to get the traffic, this is where it's going to be a bit of a big game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it, yeah. So just
Be interesting to see if Fernando can actually tag on the back of Parker.
That's it, yeah. So it looks
So
like
he can drag him up to Samir.
That's right, yeah. So it looks like we've had 3 people dropped out at the moment, unfortunately. So John Preacher, bless him's racing by himself at the moment. Got not much going on, so it's going to be a bit of a quiet race for him until the night time when the leaders start to lap him. So it's going to make his race a bit more exciting. Not fun when the rest of the cars start to pull away, I'm afraid, but yeah, it is what it is at the moment. So jump on board with Fernando. I am keeping on because there's a lot of guys at the moment having a bit of a good battle with Steve and that just in front. We'll just jump on for Steve and that quickly. Alright, they've actually opened the gap up, so that did actually change. So I'll jump on board with Nico for the minute. Nico.
Things are starting to get close for P9. Diego's trying to hold off Ivan.
That's it. So I was watching a bit of a battle there with Fernando's as well. So as I said, it's a pretty awesome racing right across the grid at the moment.
Lots of little bunches of 2s and 3s, all having really good fights.
That's it, yeah. So pretty awesome to catch all this. So it looks like Diego's going for the move. So Diego's managed to grab P9 off of Ivan. So that's a nice clean overtake there under the braking zone. So just jumping over here. Unfortunately, relatives start to flick all over the place if someone's stopped in the pits. So it does make it a bit harder to catch closer times. So if anyone's sat in the pits, like we've got one guy that looks like he's sat in the pits at the moment, it sort of messes up the relatives to see who's having a good battle. But we jump back with Fernando Silva at the moment. He's P15.
Looks like Ivan is having a go at taking the position back off Diego. And it looks like he's done it down into turn 1. Lovely clean pass.
Nice. So yeah, Ivan's managed to grab the position back. So obviously his setup's better for the straights, but not as good for the corners. And this is where obviously Diego's closing that gap and putting the pressure back on. So a little bit of screen time for Ben. So we'll jump back to P1 at the moment. So about 3-second gaps now between Samuel and Samir. So I don't know if Samir's, I'll say it's 3 seconds, but it did drop down to 2.5. So I don't know if Samir's had a little bit of a mistake or whether he's just not driving it as hard at the moment. Maybe he's just trying to refrain from having to get a pit stop and changing tyres. We will see later on. Or whether he's just relying on the traffic slowing the guys down and then we're obviously not overdriving the car he should have better grip later on. So
Nice and
looks like,
close for P14.
yeah, I'm also on board with Ivan at the moment, as Ivan and Diego are having another battle as they come down for the chicane. So, and Louis just in front there as he went out of cam. So some awesome racing going on right now.
We just had a crasher.
So 444.
Nellis.
Is that Nico's man who's had a crash, was it?
Yeah, Nico Nellis.
Ah, that's a bit of a shame. He was
Driver error, it wasn't.
Oh, it was driver error, was
Yeah,
it?
they were starting to have a good battle. He was pulling him in. I think he may have just lit it up on the curb. And it spun him around into the wall. I don't know how much damage he's received. He's carried on. He hasn't dived into the pits, so hopefully he didn't receive any damage from that.
No, that's a bit of a shame, unfortunately. So Amato still P5 at the moment, so he's got a lot of work to do. So a bit of a shame that he managed to grab P1 from the qualifying, but dropped back to P6, and then he's got himself back up to P5. He's about 2 seconds off of Fernando's, who's P4 at the moment, and about 3 or 4 seconds off of James Parker, who's P3. So it looks like James is starting to close the gap a bit on Samir, because there was about just over 5 seconds gap between these guys. But it looks like James managed to close that gap down to just under 3 seconds.
It's good to see Fernando's managing to stay with him.
That's it, yeah. Maybe he's better at attacking rather than being the one being attacked.
Yes.
So
be nice to see the three of them fighting it out later on in the race for P2.
This is it, yeah. So Alberto P7 at the moment. So again, he's got a lot of work. Chris is in P6. Just is there about 2 seconds in front of Alberto. So they've got a lot of work. We know that Chris is very consistent as well. So these guys will be working very hard to keep their lap times consistent. But as I say, Samuel's still got the fastest lap at the moment, 144.3. Second fastest is Alberto with 144.475, and then it's Samir with 144.475. So 5.754. So yeah, it's like literally two hundredths of a second between them two with their fastest laps. So yeah, so that's how close they are.
Looks like we're starting to see headlights come on. Starting to transition into the dark.
It sure is, yeah. So 8:20 in the night time in the game.
Be interesting to see how the lap times start to differ as the temperature drops. Oh, as we've just had Ivan make a mistake and lost P8 after doing such a good job to gap Diego after passing him. It just made a little error, whether that's track temperatures coming down, tyre temperatures coming down, and mistakes will start to happen.
This is it. This is what they've obviously had to plan for as well, with tyre pressures, you know, to obviously compensate with the ambient temperature and stuff changing.
Yeah, you have to find a compromise.
That's it. So far, so good. So at the moment, I mean, the gaps are sort of spreading. Louis is doing pretty well at the moment, holding P8. So not bad at all for his first time in this game. Like I said, he literally got the game about 4 p.m. today in UK time. So, and he literally just had about an hour and a bit to practice, and then he's straight in with qualifying, and now he's in his first race in ACC. So to get P8 so far out of that against some of these guys that have been racing ACC for quite a while, goes to show how quick he is.
Be a name to keep an eye on in the further championships to come.
Exactly, especially as he gets used to the cars and when he finds a car that he likes to run in the championship. So, but the Ferrari's still pretty good anyway as an overall car.
Yeah, so Albert's been doing very well with that on the Wednesday championships.
He sure has, yeah. So
Ivan seems to recovered from his little error.
this
And
is
he's
it. So
starting to pull back to Diego. He'll want that position back.
nice. I was just going to say, it looks like, I don't know if Samuel's made a mistake or not, but the gap's closing massively now. So there's 0.5 seconds between Samir and Samuel for P2, P1. James Parker is about 4 seconds off of Samir. So it looks like Samir's been really consistent and managed to gain an extra second off of James Parker. Because earlier on there was only 3 seconds between them.
Be interesting to see how he takes the pressure now, because he's had a bit of a gap up until now, hasn't he?
That's it, yeah. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just jump on board for a little bit with Nico as he's putting a bit of pressure on with Fernando's in front. So just nice to get a bit of onboard view, especially as it starts to transition into the night time, and get a bit of a perspective from the driver's view. So it looks like Fernando's had a better exit out of New Holland for the main straight. So no chance of Nico managing to get a toe there, not too far away. But whether he can brake a bit later, whether he's got a better setup for braking a bit later. So that's where he starts to close the gap there. So come round through Elf, come round through Renault corner. Looks like Ray's flashing his lights there for some reason. So Nico trying to take the inside line, trying to keep it nice and tidy, hoping to force Fernando's to make a mistake.
Looks like Samuel's managed to recover himself. He's almost posted a lap as fast as what he'd done in the hot conditions.
That's it, yeah. So he's 2 taps off his best lap so far. We're 1:44.5, Samuel. There's still about a second gap between Samuel and Samir. About 4.5, almost 5 seconds gap between James and Samir at the moment. So as we just see, as Nico's managed to make the overtake there on Fernando's. So some awesome racing there, nice to capture that. We'll just jump on board. So Harry's just gone over the start and finish line at the moment.
Keeps catching me out, that does.
Oh, I know. Like I said, because someone's in the pits. Because someone's in the pits, the relatives shoot really close together. So I'm obviously jumping onto the cars there, thinking that there's a bit of a battle going on, and obviously it is literally for that reason. There's a car in the pits, and the relatives picking that up. So James Parker's P3. You see Fernando's is just behind with P4 at the moment, and Mato's managed to close that gap a bit more. So he's got that gap closed to about 3 seconds.
Looks like Chris Hoke in P6 is going to get his mirrors full of Alberto.
Yeah, this is getting interesting as well. So like I said, with it turning into night, it's going to be very interesting. You know, this is where drivers are going to start losing their braking points. As it looks like Chris made a bit of a mistake there, taking to his curb. It looks like Alberto is going to take full advantage of that as he starts to come side by side down the main straight.
Good run.
But there was a little bit of contact there, a little bit of dirty contact. But if Alberto can manage to stay on the outside as he does, to actually take the inside line here into Elf. He actually holds back, thinking maybe that's a wiser idea. So pulls himself back in behind, hopefully put a bit of pressure back on Chris in a minute. But Chris is not flaking under pressure, that's for sure. So some awesome racing going on there between these guys. So again, that's catching me out again, because Ivan and that was just going past the pits with one of the guys in the pit still. So a bit of a battle going on with Nico and not Nico, sorry, it's Yuri and Harry, I believe. So I mean, my relatives are starting to play up again. Steve Banks for a minute. So it looks like Amato's closed the gap now, down to just under half a second between him and Fernando's. It's just come back up to a second. Looks like Samir is closing the gap on Samuel as well, with about 0.5 seconds between them. So I'll just jump back to Samuel to see what these guys are doing here. So Samuel's obviously running for P1 at the moment. Samir just behind for P2, but very consistent with their lap times. So some awesome racing here. Samir's not letting them go out of sight. So James Parker P3. Fernando's just in the distance there. Thanks a lot for the follow. Really appreciate that, mate. Thank you. So thanks for following that Shaggy Dog and Russell. Appreciate that. So, like I said, this race is pretty awesome with all these cars so close together, right across the field. In, like I said, in their groups of like 2, 3s, and 4s. So some awesome racing going on right across the field here, especially with the mix of different classes of guys, you know, from silvers, pros, AMs, etc. So much going on. I don't know what to. So it looks like Ivan's gone into the pits. So whether he's gone in for repairs, I don't know, because it's not mandatory pits. So jump back on with James, because it looks like Fernando's has managed to close the gap here on James at the moment. Yeah, to answer your question, mate, yeah, we are running the 1.0.7, so this is the new tyre model with 5 points of contact rather than the standard 1 point of contact per tyre. But unfortunately, due to obviously the new beta, somewhere along the lines they broke the mandatory pits, so we've had to sort of scrap the mandatory pits in favour of a better tyre model, so which obviously everyone's happy about. So at the moment, there's a bit of a battle going on between James and Fernando still. So we'll jump on board with Fernando, as he's really right on the back end here of James. So like I said, with the nighttime transition, this is where people going to lose their brake markers, and sort of some mistakes are going to happen. So people are going to start braking a bit later or braking a bit earlier, losing times, closing those gaps. And the guys obviously attacking are going to take full advantage of that, as he's just made a big mistake, Fernando's, and starts to go off the track. So that's a bit of a shame. So he's going to be under pressure there with Amato, who is just going beside at the moment.
He'll be kicking himself for that one.
That's it, he has. So he's unfortunately lost the position there to Amato. So Amato's managed to grab P4. So that's what I mean. Just this is it when it turns to night. You know, like I said, people are going to forget their braking zones, be too much busy concentrating on the car in front, not actually watching what they're doing, and little mistakes like that has cost him a position. So,
rather close for P10 between Gould and Yuri.
Yeah, I'll jump on board.
Side by side there for a brief second, and they thought better of it.
That's it. So we've got a bit of a battle going on with these guys as well. So come back in and have a better camera view.
Got the 3 drivers fairly close there. They've been battling it for quite a while now.
That's it. So it looks like Amato's managed to close the gap on James Parker, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, scrap that. That was not true. That was actually him gaining time on a car in the pit. So hopefully Kuno's managed to fix that, so we don't get relatives mixed up with people in the pits.
Just had Taylor spin, attempting to let the leaders through.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame.
But he's managed to keep himself out of the way and hasn't interrupted their battle.
That's it. So Fernando's trying to put the pressure back on Mato now, so trying to keep within that 1 second. And hopefully he can fight to get his position back. So lots of stuff going on right now at the moment. So quite a few cars racing.
May see a pass for P13.
That's it, yeah, I am going to jump on board. So
He's pulling out the slipstream to attempt the breaking into turn 1.
That's it, so as Steve Bank got enough, he's managed to grab P11.
Lovely clean pass.
That was awesome there. Outbroke his opponent, managed to grab the inside line and done pretty well there. So nice overtake there as well. So some pretty awesome
May want to
stuff
jump back to P4.
Yeah, I can see this yet because
Fernando is
trying to put the pressure on again. So I'll tell you what, we're going to jump on board with these guys as well. See, got a bit of so you can see the distance between the cars. So we'll see if Fernando's is this is where Fernando's obviously closing that gap there under the braking. So
he's just not able to get quite close enough coming out the last turn yet.
No, that's it. So some awesome driving here between these two guys. So Assetto driving completely off track there, so we should be getting a bit of a warning for that. So keep 2 tyres within the white lines, that is our rules at red line. And pretty much the rules in racing as well. So yeah, some pretty awesome racing going on here with these guys as well. So Colin Tuck. Like he is getting blue flagged here by some of the guys.
Getting fairly close for P8. Lewis is trying to hold off Tiago. Doing a good job of it so far.
Nice, this is what I mean. So, like I said, Louis not had much. Well, he's only literally picked up the game at 4 o'clock today. So he's literally 5 hours he's had the game for, and he's put in. He played it for about 2 hours.
It's an impressive show. First attempt.
Exactly. So he's managed in P8, and he's straight into night racing as well. So he's got it all to come, hasn't he?
Baptism of fire.
Exactly. That's it. So some awesome racing going on at the moment. So Chris Hockey still managing P5. Alberto P6. But he's just over 1.3 seconds behind Chris Hockey. It looks like James Parker's managed to close the gap here, because obviously they've been having a bit of traffic. Looks like that was Colin there, so he was holding these guys up a little bit, but allowing them to pass. So that's obviously closed the gap here. So there's literally a 1 second gap between P1 with Samuel and P2 Samir. And there's literally about 1 second gap between Samir and James on P3. So, and Assetto is about 2 seconds off of James for P3. So Amateto's making a nice recovery. So hopefully he can take advantage of this as they start getting more traffic now. As we come through to the almost third of the race. Nico's so it looks like Nico's going into the pits. So like I said, with 1.0.7, obviously we don't really know as broadcast at the moment how their tyres are feeling and their wear and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to get some feedback from the drivers later, just to see how they get on and whether there was much improvement over 1.0.6. So, but from what the guys have said from their first moments in the cars, it's definitely better going over the curbs with the new tyre model without 5 points of contact. But they did say that under cold tyres it was more slippery. So that's something to obviously consider when you leave the pits with cold tyres. So just jump back with Tiago. So it looks like Louis managed to open that gap up a bit now. So not so much under pressure by Tiago, who's P9, trying to put the pressure on Louis for P8. So not much going on at the moment. Looks like someone just caught someone going off track there. I don't know who that was. I don't know if you can grab that, Jake, see who just managed to go off track there through Renault corner.
I did not catch that, I'm afraid.
It was one of the I'll say it's one of the Ferraris, but all Ferraris.
Well narrowed down.
To answer your question there in the Twitch chat, not by a lot really. The broadcasting tools are still that's what I'm using at the moment. Like I said, the relatives are off when cars are going past other cars that are in the pits, so that sort of throws us off of who's actually battling and who's just driving past someone in the pits. Cameras wise, I mean, literally cameras are not selectable properly. I mean, I have to literally go back from game to the broadcast overlay of the broadcast app to.
It's getting close for the lead here.
It sure is, yeah. So
Briefly down at 0.4 there. So the closest I've seen them yet.
this is it. So this is what I mean. I think maybe Samir was playing it safe at the earlier parts of the races to save his tyres, and now he's going to use that to his advantage later on for the race. But yeah, that answers your question. So yeah, no, I don't think there's been much improvement at all over the user interface of the broadcasting app at the moment. So definitely still needs some work. Hopefully one of our guys in our group is who's actually racing today, actually Yuri. He is in the process of trying to make a new app for us, a Redline, to make it better and easier for us to catch all the action. So that'll be this guy here, Yuri. So yeah, he's an app developer. So jump on board with Assetto as he's putting pressure on James. So as we can see at the moment, I'll tell you what, I'm going to jump on board with Assetto as he's I'm a bit confused. Timings are off again.
There.
That was a back marker, was it? Oh, right, okay.
That was Ben Nealon.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. This is where we need some crucial information, more information on the broadcasters, know exactly what's going on if someone's being blue flagged or whatnot, so we can see what's going on, especially during the night time as well, because it makes it harder for us to see who's back markers and stuff like that. Anyway, back with Samuel, who's still P1 at the moment. Samir still putting keeping that gap consistent between them. And hopefully Samir will start to attack more come sort of the last 10 minutes of the race. This is sort of his tactics normally. So
Chris Hogue is still being pressured by Alberto, and they're coming up on Ben Nealon, so it'd be interesting to see whether the back marker gives Alberto a chance.
That's better. You was talking like a robot then. Oh, so looks like Alberto is flashing the back marker there. Lost him a lot of time, so he's pulled over. Alberto's now managed to pass, so Alberto's not impressed by that.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. The back marker would cause any issues, give Alberto a chance.
That's it. So it's allow Chris to pull away a bit there and not to be too worried about Alberto. So hopefully Alberto will try again shortly. So just jump back with Samir because it did look like.
So he's dropped back a little bit.
He has, hasn't he? Here, so maybe
he lost about a second that lap to the leader Samuel.
That's it. Yeah. So Chris is obviously catching up with a back marker here, flashing him and saying, "Get out of the way." So the question is, Merritt is not going to get out of the way because he is actually an arm driver. So we might have to where's him later because he is holding up, and he has literally did just actually pull over then to allow him to pass. So he finally did move over, but looks like he is starting to learn a bit more about allowing the leaders to pass and understanding the blue flag. So Alberto and Chris still pretty close to go at the moment.
Yeah, the back markers haven't split them up too much.
Too much now. So there's a few guys in the pits at the moment.
It's like Yuri is just holding off Steve Banks for P10. Quite close coming through the final chicane, coming around the last turn now. Yuri's got a fairly good exit.
That's it.
So we'll see whether Steve has got the setup to actually pass him along straights.
That's it. So we'll take a bit of on board from Yuri to see what happens here with Steve. So Steve did look to go for the inside, but then he sort of thought of that.
Maybe a little bluff just to see if Yuri would lock a brake.
That's it, yeah, but didn't work. So going through Renault. So a very tricky corner, Renault. You've got to lay off the throttle there for a touch. Put the throttle back on. So it looks like Steve was trying to go for the inside there, and we'll just jump to a better camera. So, but Yuri's got the inside line here still.
Big twitch on exit, trying to get the power down.
It sure is, that's it. So it's good to see them have a nice battle there. I definitely prefer to be the attacking car rather than the one being attacked.
Yes.
So Louis still doing pretty well, holding P8, but there's about 13 seconds from Fernando's in front of him, so he's going to have pretty much a lonely race by the looks of it, unless something drastic happens. Just jump on board with Alberto because he's closing the gap again on Chris. So
it's like, is that another back marker ahead of them?
It could well be, yeah. It looks like Ivan's a back marker there in front, so this could get interesting. So Chris is flashing straight away to say, look, let us pass because this is crucial time. So it looks like Ivan's either broke too late and missed his braking points. But anyway, it didn't cause too much problem here between Chris and Alberto.
Has allowed him to get quite close though. Give him a chance at the last turn.
This is it, yeah. So it's going to be very interesting. So Chris is going to be driving very defensively now. He's going to make sure he closes off those gaps, stop Alberto from taking those crucial lines and gaining the position off him, because Chris has been fighting very hard for his current position here, but it doesn't look like Alberto's managed to get a toe. It looks like Chris is starting to pull away a little bit, so it'd be interesting to see what happens as they come down to T1 for Elf. So Chris is a lot more tardier through that. So as Chris starts to pull away as they come around through Renault. So Chris has made a nice, opened up a nice gap there. So it's a pretty awesome drive at the moment. Just looking at over the relatives. There's still about a second gap between Samir and Samuel for P1. Samuel's still holding P1 at the moment.
Meto's pretty close to Parker at the minute. He's keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, we'll jump over to them shortly, but at the moment it's between Alberto and Chris at the moment. Looking at the gaps closing down now, I will actually take a switch to Amato, who's P4, who's starting to put the pressure on James. So all these drivers doing very well at the moment. Lap times have slightly dropped off with it getting darker. People losing about 0.5 seconds off their best. So it looks like James's best lap is a 1:44.57. So almost 3 tenths faster than Mato. But looks like James managed to get an awesome exit there and really open up that gap. So it looks like quick change camera there. So it looks like Alberto's managed to take the position there off of Chris. Quickly defends, bit of contact between him, but I mean, literally, what could Chris do? Because Alberto did cut him off there, and unfortunately, that was one of those mistakes. But they're soon back onto the track.
Hopefully, neither received much damage, and they'll be able to continue battling on.
That's it. It didn't look like a big crash. It was just more a case of a little knock while they was under hard braking there. So maybe a couple of flat stop spots on their tyres.
I don't know if Samir has been just sort of regathering himself for another attack, but he's been pulling half a second to 6/10 over the last lap. He's going back down towards a second again now.
Where are the positions? I'll quickly go. Well, it's a bit quiet shortly. I'll show you the positions at the moment. So Samuel P1, Samir's P2 at the moment, James P3, Amato P4, Alberto P5, Chris 6, Fernando 7, Luis P8, Diego P9, Steve is P10, Yuri 11, another Fernando's P12, Ivan 13, Ben's 14, Ray's 15. I think the rest of the guys have actually quit. Well, they've obviously had an accident, span themselves out, and decided to retire. But looks like there's someone's just coming out of the pits there. Looks of it.
Samir has managed to close that gap down to 6 or 7 tenths now.
That's it. Doing pretty well at the moment. Been consistent throughout the whole race so far, but I think this is where Samir is hoping to obviously make that gain, as we've got 8 minutes left.
Whether he's just been holding a little pace off during the race to look after the tyres for the end game.
This is it. I mean, usually this is sort of gameplay, you know, is take it easy, just look after the tyres. I mean, because track temperatures obviously dropped 5 degrees now, same with the ambience.
Yeah, and without the pit stop to try the undercut, you have to think up different strategies.
This is it. So, not too much going on at the moment. So we'll just jump back with Samir for a bit. So it's sort of calmed down a bit now that most of the leaders have passed the back markers. So I say that, but Yuri is about 2 seconds ahead of Samuel here. So we will be interested to see what happens, if anything happens, as they start to catch up. So yeah, so Yuri's just in front there. So 2 seconds away. So it looks like Samir is actually, I believe that right. Yes. So Samir's just managed to grab P1 there. So unfortunately just missed that as I just cut across to Yuri just to show the gap between Samuel and Yuri.
I think Samuel went wide.
So Samuel must have went a little bit wide there, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks like Samir has now managed to grab P1. So this is going to be a very good battle here. So these guys, Samuel is really going to be putting the pressure on now and hoping to try and get back his position that he's been fighting for the whole race. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Yuri, who's ahead. So hopefully Yuri will allow these guys to pass. Because he hasn't, but it looks like Samuel had to go a bit wide there to avoid a collision with Samir, so that's lost him a little bit more time, but there's not much they can do at the moment at this point of track. So Yuri is trying his best to sort of be quick around the track to get out of the way and allow these guys to pass on the main straight.
The only benefit for Samir is he'll gain himself a bit of a toe, hopefully.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. So Yuri's pulled over. So Samir's just taken advantage of the toe off of Yuri there. You've got Samuel trying to take advantage of the toe off Samir as well. So the gap closing there between Samuel and Samir. So what I'll probably do actually is just go this bit of on-board stuff so we can see the gap between these guys. So Samir is just in front, on board with Samuel. So Samir is now going to play defensive. He's going to protect the inside lines of these corners as they come round Seat corner. So this is very good tactics from Samir now, because he's worked very hard to get P1 and he's finally been rewarded by that, and now he's going to do his best to defend this position. So some awesome racing going on with these guys at the moment. So yeah guys, if you are new to our channel, then don't forget to obviously follow us on Twitch and like and subscribe on YouTube. We are streaming to both platforms. If you ever want to know about the community Redline, then do speak to myself. I am the founder of Redline. We do run races 7 days a week across a selection of sim games. We run Dirt Rally 2.0 as well. So yeah, do ask away. There is links below under the Twitch and YouTube channels there, so do check out the links. But yeah, any questions, you know, want to praise us for a commentary, or you know, dislike it, tell us where we can improve. We're also always hoping to improve. Otherwise, yeah, enjoy the stream otherwise. So not a lot going on at the moment, it's really it's started to close off now. I mean, it's only Samir and Samuel quite close together at the moment. Chris is obviously kicking himself from losing position there to Alberto.
Yeah, well, I just saw Metto have a little mistake in P4, giving some breathing space to James Parker, which I'm sure he'll be glad of these last few minutes of the race.
That's it, yeah, so only 3 minutes left, so it looks like about 2 laps left of the race. So depending on where the leader is right now, just a quick let's see where the leader is. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have about 2 laps by the time they complete this. If we're looking at an average of 1:45 a lap. So jump on board with Samuel, because I said that these guys are really batting it out, and we can see there's Steve Banks ahead. So this could be interesting again with these guys closing that. So anything can happen in these next 2 laps. So this is very crucial that these guys keep the pace, but not try to overdrive the cars. Because you can see how Samuel here is trying to push really hard, but he's made a little mistake there, and it's given Samir an awesome exit there, and has obviously opened up the gap. So
yeah, he's not going to get many more chances, is he?
That's it, yeah, so appreciate the follow there, thank you very much. So we just see as they come down to Elf Corner. So there is a little bit of a gap there. They're starting to come around Renault, but it looks like, I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but we'll say it to the end of the race actually. I don't want to jinx him. Yeah, the pits keep throwing me off. As the people going past the pits, it's showing they're like 0.5 seconds off each other, and then it's just there's just them on their own going down the main straight. So yeah, it looks like we stay with Samuel and Samir at the moment, because like I said, this is some awesome racing with these guys. So minute left. Right. So we might get another lap, looking at the time and where they are now as they start to come through sector 3. going to be very interesting to see if Samir doesn't make any mistakes and he manages to keep this position. But you can see how hard Samuel is really working this car. And like I said, it obviously paid off with Samir, because look at how he's going to get the power down in the corners later on in the race. He's obviously decided, you know, to look after those tyres earlier on, and it's obviously paying off with obviously the gap that he's making now. So it just goes to show he had a really good strategy to begin with, you know, and it's definitely paid off. So bear that in mind if you guys decide to race, you know, if you're running a 60-minute race like this or longer, you know, preserving your tyres could actually benefit you later on in the race, where other people are obviously at the limits of their tyres.
Yeah, I'm sure Samuel will be kicking himself because he's led all race long to lose it in the last 10 minutes.
That's it, yeah. Such a shame, but you can see the speed that Samir's got. It's like I said, he's our esports driver. He raced at the SRO esports event at Spa 24 Hour. So unfortunately, he only managed to get P7.
I think he's still got some left. He's definitely saved some tyres because he just posted his fastest lap of the race. That last lap,
yeah,
44.1.
Yeah, so he's now got the fastest lap of the race so far. Samuel 1:44.3. So just like I said, just goes to show, you know, it's all about strategy here, and it's really paid off here for Samir. So he's done an awesome job. So last few corners now before they come up to the finish. So we jump back to this cam so you can see the distance between these guys. So James Parker not far behind them. I say that, it looks like it was actually Steve Banks' far.
Great job by Samir. Great job.
Awesome race by Samir, so well done for grabbing P1 there. Great job for Samuel holding it out and taking P2. Jump over to James Parker as he's coming around the corner. So we've got a couple of back markers just in front of him there, with James in the distance just flashing his lights. So awesome race from these guys. Amato has managed to get P4. Alberto's got P5. Chris Hookie's managed to get P6. So we will just bring up the relative there quickly. I believe that's a bit of a change around there as they come over the start finish line, but I think Amato actually managed to get P5 and Chris got P6. So yeah, the rest of the relatives should be fine. So there's your standards. So absolute awesome race. So it just goes to show, you know, the speed of these guys, you know, all running the same car. It's just made an absolute awesome race. So anyway, the next one we've got is the actual T-Rex event. So it was these guys' choice to come up with this event. So the next one is the mighty T-Rex. So everyone will be racing in those cars. So that's going to be very fun. So especially with the new tyres, actually, it would be interesting to see how that's actually changed them. And then obviously in between, so this obviously runs Fridays bi-weekly, the events, and we run a championship bi-weekly in between the events as well. So yeah, most of these guys are in the championship as well that runs the following week. We also have an ACC Wednesday championship that also runs bi-weekly with some of these guys obviously in this race as well. So do check that out. I will say as well, 18th of August, put this in your diary, we have been officially allowed to broadcast and stream Division 2 of the Esports WTCR event. So we will be streaming that on behalf of Race Room. So pretty awesome for us to get that. So yeah, so that would be around 4:45. I think the stream starts on the Sunday, the 18th of August. So like I said, do put that in your diaries and come and check that out, because that's going to be a pretty awesome event there with the WTCR's esports. Other than that, like I said, don't forget to obviously like, subscribe, follow us across the platforms. If you want to come and join our community and you want to do some racing with us, you know, we are looking to do some rookie leagues as well, so do get in touch and head over to our Discord channel. And just one other thing, we are building a new website which shouldn't be very long away now, so that will have new driver profiles and for you to be able to sign up for races much easier, and that's all going to be integrated with Discord. So if you've got a Discord account, it would just be easy just to literally log in with your details and link you all to everything. So yeah, so that's another good thing to come. Anyway, otherwise, thanks for coming along, guys, watching the stream. So much appreciated. Thanks for the follows, and we'll see you again soon. Very much appreciate it. So, cheers.